Hey YouTube, we are at Walnut Hills Campground and RV Park in Staunton, Virginia. It's just south of Flagpole Knob if you're in the Virginia area and you're a Jeep person, which is in the Washington D.C. kind of region, maybe 2 hours from Washington D.C. near the George Washington Forest. And we're enjoying our little campfire, and tomorrow morning we are going to head out to Flagpole Knob to head out with Maryland's Jeep Club. We're one of their sponsors, and we're going to go do Flagpole Knob with them and hopefully see a little bit of skyline.
So we're going to have some relaxing time on the trails tomorrow, and tonight we're just sitting here relaxing, enjoying the fire and this beautiful Virginia evening.
I'm going to start with this time lapse of the center of the campground so you can just kind of see the general activity, and then we'll do a tour of our campsite specifically, and then I'll do a drive around of the entire campground. So the big orange area that you see is actually a maze that they created. How cool is this? And there's a bell at the other side that the kids will ring when they make it through the maze. This is not construction. I know it looks like construction netting, and they probably use construction netting, but it's this cool maze, and it's their version of a corn maze, and it's next to the playground. So we are camping like right in front of the corn maze. There is a creek behind us, and we are in site 42, by the way, and we have a 21-foot total length or 19.5-foot travel trailer. I think something a little bit larger could fit in our site, maybe not a whole lot larger. There's our Jeep Gladiator, obviously. So the site itself feels kind of small, but it's perfectly level. There's a fire pit there. There's another fire pit way down there. That was a fire pit that we used, the one that was way down there. And I put these lights out around the site because we have a back door on our camper, and it's up on these railroad ties. So, and I didn't back all the way into the site like our neighbor did, because I didn't want to be like on the little cliff. But you can see they have this like little kind of creek that kind of snakes through this part of the campground, and we're on the forward part of the campground, and everybody's kind of divided out by this cool looking creek. And at night I ended up putting some lights down here also, just so we wouldn't fall in the creek. So I'm going to switch over, and now we're going to do a drive-through. So this is a campground store that we're going to start at, and we're already registered, and there's different sections of the campground, and one section of it is actually on the outside of the campground. So there's an entrance where you'd come in at and register, and I believe that is the owner's house on the right, or the people that run the place at least. So this is the first camping area, and this area right here is on the outside of the area, like I was saying. And these are very nice, respectably large sites. You can see these are very large campers, and it's very, very extremely flat. And I think if I'm right, some of these have full hookups. That was one thing with the campground. A lot of the campground does not have full hookups. A lot of it is just like water and electric. But they do have like a honey pot or dump service, whatever you want to call it, where they go around, they dump you, and they do it like a certain day of the week, and then if you pay a little extra, they can come by if you need them to. So like I was saying, this is on the like outside of the gate, but I don't think the gate is ever closed because there's no real physical gate per se. And even at night, if you show up at night and you can pull up here to the registration window. They have like a box that has like a listing of all the sites that are open, and with all the sites that are open, you can basically, I think, plop down some money and then just go camp and then come back and settle with them. So it's kind of cool that they allow you to do that. Pretty much there's only one way to get in this this big maze, and that's to the left here. And then they have all these different kind of roads that are like all these like little loops, and all the loops come back to the office. So we'll end up doing a couple little loops just so you can kind of see. You can see the orange way over there. That's where the corn maze is, where we are. And some of these are like kind of like right out on the side of the road, like these right here that you'll see. There's a huge lake up here on the right, and the massive lake is all on private property, so you can go fishing and you don't need any kind of license whatsoever. And they said you could, catch whatever you can and keep and eat whatever you can consume, and then please throw back anything that you don't plan on eating. You know, like don't just kill fish for no reason. And so here's the large massive lake, and you can see there's camping on both sides of the lake and also on that big giant hill. They also have some cabins here that you can rent. I believe the first cabin that we're going to see is up here on the left hand side. So there's one of the cabins. They do have some full hookups around the cabins in general. I probably, because they're all on the same sewer, if I had to take a guess. Our site is perfectly level. I can't say that about all the sites because I haven't gone in and stayed at any other sites other than the one that we're at. But I was very much amazed to just pull in without even trying and then look at the level, and everything was nice and level. So they do look like they spent a lot of time grading these things. If you look at the campers specifically, look at the wheels. You don't see that many like other like yellow chalk things under the wheels. So it looks like most of these sites they look pretty level. They look pretty nice. So the sites up here are up on this giant hill, so they're a ways away from the lake, and they're a ways away from like the bathrooms and stuff that they have down there. There's another set of bathrooms up here, but you get this awesome view. So if you like the view, then probably you want to be up on the hill. But you know, if you have kids and stuff and they're running around, maybe you want to be down close to the lake, or closer to like the playground or something like that. There are some more cabins up here on the left that have. They're on stilts probably for the view, is my guess. And this side up here on the edge of this hill, this looked like the coolest side in the world, because you could just like sit here and just like look over everything. So they have this game up here. It's like frisbee golf, I think is what it was called, or something. And they have all these warning signs about like flying objects and stuff. So basically, and if you look around, I'm looking for it right there on the right. That strange looking thing with the orange top. You'll see another one. The kids go around and they throw the frisbee like into those things, and they have them positioned all over like the place on the right in different positions. And you go from one to another, kind of like golf, like where you have different holes, and you're trying to throw the frisbee into those catcher things. Most of the roads in this park are one way. However, this single one that we're on right now is a two-way road, and you'll see we're going to make a U-turn and come back up it, so you can see some of the primitive camping. So that's our camper right in front of us on the left, and the orange would be the corn maze that they have set up for Halloween. The main office is in front of us. It's a building looking thing. The dog park is on our left. There's a dump station kind of near the corn maze also, and that's where the main restrooms are. So we are headed back up, and the golf thing is on our left, or frisbee thing. And you can see this is a pretty massive campground, and we're going to go to the right this time. And this will take us into the primitive loop. So back here is just all primitive camping. So I guess like fast forward if you don't care about primitive camping. But it is good to see that they have a huge area set aside for primitive camping. And there are some cabins back here too, by the way, so I guess that's not primitive. But anyway, they have these huge areas that are set aside for primitive camping, where at one point I think I saw like 8 or 9 tents, like all like in the same little kind of general vicinity. I believe that is another restroom right there in front of us, like the kind of red-looking building on stairs that has a parking area in front of it, and that is probably primarily for the tent campers. And then on the left you can see kind of like the tent city going on, and this would be like some of the group camping for people that are up here with tents. I would say the tent camping is the farthest from like all the amenities, because you have to go all the way up the hill and then all the way down the hill to get to the lake. But I guess maybe primitive campers like to be primitive, and then the non-primitive ones like to be like right in the stuff. I did see some tents like that were down in the RV area that like were in the middle of RVs. So I don't think that like you have to have an RV to like camp in an RV area. We are at the top of this hill, by the way, if you kind of lost track of where we're at, and you can see the cabins there. And if you look to the right, you'd be looking down on the lake. And these sites are very, very huge, and they appear to be very, very extremely flat. So this is near the Silverback Distillery. We shot a video there too, but like right in that area, and it's also near Bold Rock, distillery, by the way. But not to point out those two brands. There's about 30 or 40 wineries, like just within 30 minutes of this place. So, you know, if you like alcohol and you like to go to wineries and stuff, very kind of cool thing in the area that they have going on. It's also very close to Flagpole Knob and Dictum and Long Run. If you like to take the Jeep out, and Second Mountain, like if you like some of the local trails, and it's just right outside of George Washington National Forest. So now we are heading down. This is the same road that we already showed you. And like I said, to the right, that humongous area is a dog park. So we're going to turn and show you like another part of the loop. This is going back toward the office, and our camper's on the right. So the sites here on the left are what the traditional like pull-throughs look like. Most of them are back-in sites, but the pull-throughs are just sort of like parallel to the road. They look like you're almost like parked on the road, but that's actually a site, and they have hookups there and everything. That is office there on the left, a big kind of white-looking barn. So now we're going to make this turn, and we're back on the first road that we started on when we entered the office. But this time we're going to pull in to our site, and you can see the innermost loop. And they have all these conveniently little yellow signs that kind of direct you on where to go. But just like, you know, any other campground, when you first show up, you know, you're a little bit lost until you know, get your bearings. This is our camper on the right. And there's the dog park. You can see people in it with their dogs running around. So we decided on Saturday to just spend the day relaxing at the campground with this fire. So the firewood is particular. The rules state that you can only use their firewood. I think it was like $12 for 2 milk crates of firewood, but you're not supposed to bring any firewood in at all. We also put these lights out that you can see along the creek's edge. These are waterproof lights that you can get that are on a roll, and it's very, very convenient, especially if you have like either drunk adults or kids, and you want to be able to like illuminate like around your camper or around places, and you can see what the campground looks at night. So anyway, please like and subscribe, and we will see you guys around. Thank you.